Hello and welcome to VR Vertigo. So PSVR without parole has had, as it says in the title of that thumbnail, another massive win. Brian Paul is relentless with his community, and for a good reason. He is trying to build the catalogue that PSVR2 players have available to them in order to play more games, better games, the best games. And in this fight, he has rallied his community in order to make their voices known. It's such a simple and effective tactic, it beggars belief. Many of these developers aren't AAA companies, they're smaller concerns, and as such, take note of voices. And it's a very simple equation. If there are enough voices, it means there's enough interest. And if there's enough interest, there are enough buyers. Interest can and likely does translate directly into money, and money translates pretty much directly into success. And Brian Paul has his finger on the pulse. And so I'd like to say to Brian Paul and Old Game Cats, well done. In other news, STARFIELD, Terran Armada. The DLC is being confirmed. When STARFIELD came along, I was so excited, I couldn't quite contain myself. Anyway, and the game was released and, well, we know what happened. And what happened was what usually happens. Bethesda games end up being very, how can I put this? They divide people. There are those who love, there are those who hate, and there are many in between. And I'm kind of in the in-between bit. I find the middle of the road in many ways is exactly the right place to be. And I find that when you're taking note of everything, you get a very good idea of the temperature of a thing, whatever that thing may be. And along with the promise of Terran Armada, we get the promise of a new and improved STARFIELD game. All kinds of wants and wishes are being thrown around, everything from reduced load screens to missing load screens, which I can't see happening, frankly. But still, it's okay to wish. The other big wants and wishes that people were after was in fact a better exploration system, a way to make it feel as though everything wasn't just cut and paste in different locations, which weren't really that different. For everything that STARFIELD promised, it kind of fell flat on its face. The core gameplay was still classic Bethesda, in my opinion, and I enjoyed that. But I stopped playing because it was just the same. We are presented with an opportunity. With the release of STARFIELD, the new improved STARFIELD, on the PS5, the potential for snatching victory from the jaws of defeat in this case being the original launch, are huge, unparalleled almost. Not only can they revamp the game, right many of the wrongs, and ensure that the game has a life beyond Xbox, is the introduction of a VR mode. Just like they did with Skyrim, only better, with more bells, with more whistles. If there is a way to inhabit the STARFIELD universe in VR, then it absolutely positively must be done. Some people may look at this as the poor man's version of Star Citizen in VR, but I disagree. I don't think that's the case at all. If anything, Star Citizen, the VR mod, has shown us that there's a massive appetite for these kind of games. Just take a look at No Man's Sky. If ever there was a VR game for space, that's it. And as great and undeniably wonderful as No Man's Sky is, the graphic style just didn't quite tick the boxes that I required. And so I haven't played STARFIELD for quite some time. Maybe it's time I jump back in. But what I really wanted and really want are games with a touch more realism in them. I want to feel immersed in a world that fools me into thinking I'm actually a space pirate. VR is the go juice that many games require. Competition in the flat screen gaming world is tough. It's dog eat dog, ride or die. But in VR, that's not so true. A game that on flat screen might not be stellar could be, with a little bit of VR magic dust sprinkled on top, incredible. And we need all games companies and development teams to understand that this is indeed a thing. I think there are many games out there which, whilst not being developed for VR, would in fact be incredible VR games. One of the highest on my list is Titanfall. Imagine that for a second. For those of you who've played Titanfall, imagine being inside the Titan. Imagine being ejected out of the Titan. Imagine calling the Titan down and jumping in, let alone the incredible gameplay. Titanfall is top tier VR gaming. And I can cross my fingers all I want. But what are the chances of that really happening? Well, next to none, I'd say, but never say never, never say die. And that's how I feel with STARFIELD. Bethesda has an opportunity with the release of STARFIELD on the PS5 to complete the package and give everybody on PlayStation exactly what they want. A new launch of the game with who knows what extra features and the inclusion of VR. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe and share. And until next time, bye bye.